right, so prevention, I got some notes right there. Hi, Dr. Ricardo Vargas, Pro Holistic Care Show. This is episode number 3. Hello, Dr. Ray. And today we're going to talk about prevention, and in the title I put prevention, like prevention. What is prevention? And let me tell you a little bit of a research I did with a friend of mine about prevention. So I told him, if you do these strategies, if you apply these strategies in your life, if you invest this money about doing these things, you might prevent chronic problem in the future. Those diseases that people are suffering a lot. And then I asked him, honestly, tell me if this sounds truthful, right? And then he mentioned, you know what, sounds like a little bit of a scam, because how you know you're not going to develop this condition? Why spending money when you feel good, which is one of the topics we're going to talk today, to something that you don't know is going to happen in the future? And I think the majority of the population think that doing stuff somebody tell you, like you tell them that you exercise this amount of time, you eat this way, you are gonna put yourself to prevent this chronic condition. I think if you ask this as a group of people outside the population, they do believe no, it's a waste of time and money to do that one. So very interesting. So let me. This is the definition of prevention in Webster, right? Okay. And is the act, I wrote it right there, so right there, the act or practice of keeping something from happening. Right?
Yeah,
so
that's the definition.
So what do you think about that one? Do you think the population believes that doing natural care, that doing strategies that are completely natural, simple to do, will prevent you to have a heart disease, what diabetes, or even a cancer in the future?
Yeah. You know, I think people do think that, eating healthy and doing other natural things to prevent is real and that it will prevent. I think people just I kind of think they think it's not going to happen to them, that they don't really need to worry about it, or that they just don't want to worry about something until it already happens. So I don't think people don't think prevention is possible. I just think they don't think it's important. Not important enough to put the effort, the work, and the money in.
Yeah, that's always, my mind gets flooded with this thought, which is the concept of feelings and looks does not have to do anything with being healthy. Right? Because the majority of the population, you feel healthy. And that was me, young, having some pain, but I was doing a lot of activity, a lot of exercise, and I feel good, and I feel like I look good, and I equal that with being healthy. And then at one point I found out, like, oh man, I'm having so much problem right now.
Right.
So I think it's not important for somebody that look good and feel good, go to the gym, feel great, and say, well, I don't need any medical care, right? So when we talk about prevention in the office right here, we take care of individuals, and I mentioned it to some patients, is that why not doing the best, a lot of stuff when we are healthy, when we feel great? And that's what I believe is the true meaning of prevention. Because the definition says the act of practice to prevent something, right, to happen. But I said, well, prevention, what about we do the stuff when things are great, right? We clean the house when the house clean. So we don't have to, one, work very hard, and second, it's always clean, right? Why we don't take care of our body when our body's healthy, right? We take the stress of the body, we move, we exercise, we start learning more strategies to implement when you're healthy. So one, you don't have to spend a lot of time fixing it, right? And second, you feel healthy all the time. I think that's the true definition of prevention.
Yeah, you want to take care of your body while it's healthy, and it's true. People take care of all kinds of things: their house, their car, their computer. They do things to prevent it from breaking down, or from going bad somehow. But they don't do it for their body. I think that people that I've noticed that people that have had some sort of health problem in the past are more willing and understanding about prevention because they've already had a problem. Those are the ones that I feel like really understand it. But if you haven't had some kind of health problem, I think it might be just a lack of understanding of what a chronic health problem is actually like, and how negatively it can affect your life. So that might be a reason that people don't think it's that important. And then Another thing I think has been a problem as far as prevention is concerned is with the mass idea of what prevention is and what you have to do. So, when the Affordable Care Act happened, everyone all of a sudden had preventive services, right?
Correct.
They had preventive visits. That wasn't really prevention. That is a visit once a year for someone to look at you and say, you don't have a disease right now.
Correct.
There was no actual care. They weren't actually preventing something. It's more of a screening to check and see if you currently have an illness. So sometimes if we think prevention is something so simple as just going to the doctor once a year and having a screening and that's the end of it, and that's just our idea across the country about what prevention is, then these ideas that we maybe present that are a lifestyle change and are things you have to do every day and take a lot of work and effort, maybe seem like, well, why do I need to do that?
Correct.
So I think that just the view of what prevention is from our medical world, if that changed, then maybe people would feel like prevention is more important.
Now so in our office, so we crafted a way to evaluate the patient to look at it in the eyes of a healthy individual. So because when you mentioned right there, you go and get evaluated, you get blood work for prevention, but in reality what's happening is the evaluation is geared to finding you're sick, not if you're healthy. So when you're not that sick, you're being told you're fine, and we see that all the time. Mm-hmm. And I see individuals that we evaluate right here, and they're having a lot of health challenges, but they're being told they're healthy, they're fine. And that happening because they're being seen as in the eyes of how sick are in this individual or not how healthy it is. So when we graph in our office, when we evaluate for the wellness evaluation we do, to the blood work we provide to the patient, we look in the eyes of a healthy individual and we can see the patterns, right? Mm-hmm. And the main thing that I like about the way we evaluate, and we don't have something special, it took some time to put it together. I think it's super special, right? I think it's very good.
Great. Yeah.
So it is we can, and this is the other meaning of to prevention, is we can measure in relation to somebody that's healthy, how close you are to that individual, and we can remeasure that one in the long term, and we stay there, we're moving forward, we get a little bit backward, we know, we can see what's happening with the health of that individual. So instead of looking for the disease, now we can look for the disease, we can look for the disease process with something that happened before the disease happened, and we can look how close we are to a healthy individual, always fight, and do those strategies to push that person that way, right?
Yeah,
so I think
health.
Toward health, and it's something that in the whole medical realm, in the whole concept of prevention, is they move that way. Let's see how healthy is individual, not what disease or if the person have a disease or not. I think we can just push people to prevent, right?
Right.
It's a very interesting concept.
Well, and the idea of disease too, we kind of need to change how we look at disease. We don't go from one day not having a disease to the next day now you've got diabetes. This isn't an overnight switch. It's a process, and a tiny little change in your blood levels, all of a sudden you're perfectly healthy and then you have a full-blown disease. No, there's a range, and you travel from optimum to poor until it's a diagnosable disease. But when you're in that range, that's when you want to prevent it. If you see that you're not optimal, you don't wait until you're already sick. Correct. Or you shouldn't. And that's what we're trying to teach people to do, and that's what we do for people. And getting that idea out of our head that we go from we're healthy and then the next time we're sick. No, that was a whole process, and we want to get in there before that whole process finishes and stop it and reverse it.
Correct.
That's really important.
And then and disease process in place, you can always get it better and keep preventing to get worse, which is part of the prevention thing. So if I read a couple of statistics from the chronic prevention website, I'm gonna put in the link below in this. There's a document that I'm gonna put in the article with this video, with this show. And the 45% of the population suffer a chronic health condition. Percent of the population, which is a lot of people, and they have a chronic condition. 7 out of 10 cause of death yearly is caused by a chronic condition that's completely preventable. And there's a couple more every 30 seconds a leg get amputated in this country because of diabetes. Every 30 seconds because of diabetes, and diabetes is 100% preventable. A lot of legs a year, and last stats, 81% of the hospital admissions are caused by a chronic condition, which is preventable. Chronic conditions are the ones that develop very slowly, from heart disease to diabetes, to chronic pain, to chronic arthritis, and there's a wider range of chronic conditions. They happen very slow. They are preventable if we do very, very basic stuff. And I want to finish the show. I'm going to put a list of about 11 stuff that you can start doing. Very simple, and it sounds so simple that it doesn't sound
like, how can that really help?
Yeah.
Little things can help.
Little lifestyle
changes make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Like, for example, move all the time. Move all the time. I mean, there's research that show that
Sitting's 25. The new smoking.
Yeah, your heart's not getting damaged by sitting more than 25 minutes at a time. So move all the time. One other thing you will say is good to prevent basic stuff.
Basic stuff. I don't know. Dietary stuff. Cut down sugar.
Yeah.
Stop drinking pop.
So I put at least like
little tiny things.
And it's very basic, and it's stuff that you hear all the time. Exercise, move all the time, and stop drinking pop, sugar. Eat responsibly, avoid junk, right? Exercise about 30 minutes a day, which is the American Heart Association have done a lot of research about this thing. 30 minutes a day, anybody can do those one, right? For stuff like relaxing, sleep better, hydrate yourself. So very basic stuff, and of course, because we're gonna be very biased about it, right? To get adjusted, to get that stress out of the spine, to help your brain blood. We get adjusted every week. You don't have to. You're very healthy. Once a month will do the trick. But it's just basic stuff that we need to accomplish in the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis to prevent this horrendous condition that not only limit the ability to enjoy your life, you spend a lot of money. You will spend a lot of money dealing with this condition that could be prevented 20, 30 years before. All right? Anything else you want to say, Ray?
No.
We didn't say anything funny today. We can pull always the all the time.
Yeah, and some funny effects.
Oh, by the way, this is pretty awesome. We're very excited about this.
Name him.
Yeah.
Or him. I don't know.
Next show. So, Dr. Ricardo Wagner for Holistic Care Show, episode 3. This is Dr. Ray Baldwin. Thank you so much. And contact us, like us, share this information. Let's change the community health. Dr. Ricardo Wagner for Holistic Care. Bye.
Bye.